Hello, and welcome back to True Talk Healed Hearts. My name is Carmen, and here we discuss everything healing, growing, and self awareness. So, if you find that you are on your journey to healing, journey to self improvement, you have found the right place. Today, I am juicing, and I figured it would be nice to talk and juice at the same time because I don't know. I just feel like when you're moving around the kitchen, it's nice to have conversation. So I figured this would be a cool way to have the podcast today. So, like I said, welcome in. Today's topic is working on your emotions or controlling your emotions. And this is something I recently had to learn, like within the last 3.5 years. And I'm being funny when I say that because I've been married for 3.5 years. And I really had to get a grip of my emotions immediately, like after getting married. Like as soon as I said I do, it was like, all right, girl, we need to check these emotions. And it's so funny because when you're going through like your life of singleness, you can, you know, do whatever you want. There's really no accountability, honestly, outside of just personal accountability. And it can be accountability with friendships as well. Sorry, I'm making a lot of noise. I'm trying to get how you get your little trash bag going so you don't got to keep walking over to the trash. I don't want the trash can next to me either. So there we go. But yeah, I really had to get a hold of myself with how I was operating once I got married. And so when I was operating like in my era of singleness, like I said, there really wasn't much accountability outside of like my friends correcting me or family members if we have like certain interactions, certain discussions, and I have like an outburst or whatever. Those would be my moments of correction. And I just want to say, like, when you are going through your season of singleness, try your best to be as self-aware as possible. Like, don't take on this narrative of like this is just who I am. Like, really try to start understanding why you even operate the way that you do, because sometimes we are operating in unhealthy mindsets, and that doesn't do anything but just set us back, and it makes it harder to be in a relationship if you ever decide to be in one. So um but yeah, I remember when I first um got married, and there were so many different false roles that I had to unlearn. And it was honestly my husband that helped me in this area, because I remember going through a period of trying to get a routine set and coming home, trying to cook dinner, trying to clean, trying to do everything that I saw. And I remember my husband stopping me and going, you don't have to do that. Like, we don't have to be like our parents. We can do something different. If you don't feel like doing X, Y, and Z today, you don't have to. And I remember in that moment, it set me free. And instantly I was just like, yeah, you're right. Like, we don't have to have, these roles. And mind you, both my husband and I can do everything. So I can cook, he can cook, I can clean, he can clean. There's not one specific chore that one of us enjoys over the other. It's just like if we're available, we get it done. That's who does it. And don't get me wrong, typically, like as the woman of the house, I personally just try to be on top of most of it, but he isn't somebody that doesn't contribute. Like I would definitely say we are very much so a team for sure. Um, but in the beginning, I remember going through these conversations with him, and I'm being nice when I say conversations, but when we would, get into debates, I would have to learn to watch what I say because in the heat of the moment, like I would really try to cut deep, and it would only be because of how hurt or how emotional I was, but there's no excuse for disrespect at all. And so there was a moment in time where I really had to check myself and say, okay, I need to unlearn some nasty behaviors because with our different childhoods and the way that we grew up, I am somebody who is very blunt, straight to the point, let's talk now. And my husband is more so somebody that's like, it's easier to shut down if, it's something heated going on. So this is where I really had to learn, okay, you don't always have to hit below the belt all the time. And this wasn't just with, confinement to my marriage. This was also in my friendships as well, but only some people would be bold enough to tell me, but it wasn't until I got married where I really had to like start working on it. And I think the hardest part about it was learning how to be silent, but not necessarily suppressing my emotions. So, what that means is when someone is not saying something that you agree with, it's fine to let them say their piece, right? But just take a moment and process before you speak, is all I'm saying. And that can go for many situations. Like I said, that can go for friendships, kinships, workplace relationships, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's really true. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And when I tell you, it's the hardest thing to do, but it's the most powerful position to be in because if you can control when to be silent, even when it hurts, even when you're mad and upset, you win because you are taking control of your, and I don't want to say necessarily your thoughts because you could be thinking some crazy stuff, but at least you're taking control of what you say. And sometimes it takes a minute for us to kind of sit with some things before we speak. And I had to learn that. And it wasn't easy. It's definitely still a practice for sure. But I feel like as women, it isn't easy to learn how important silence is. Even when it comes to like nagging or always like complaining about something, like just be silent sometimes. That doesn't necessarily mean give the silent treatment though, because I was bad at that. And sometimes I would use the silent treatment, as a way of trying to get what I want. And that's not good either, because that is actually a form of emotional abuse. If you don't start learning how to converse about things that are bothering you, I don't know what to tell you because it's going to show up in your friendships, it's going to show up in your kinships, and then it's just going to get to a point where people just don't want to fool with you. And you may think people are acting funny, but really they just may not want to deal with your attitude. So sometimes it's very important to process what you're hearing before you speak on it. And if that means you need to, you know, walk away for a moment, please go back. And I like I said, this isn't only in the confinements of a relationship. This could be with friendships as well, but try not to be avoidant when it comes to processing your emotions. Like, it's okay to take a moment to yourself, but make sure you return and fix the issue, right? Don't suppress things or hold things in. Don't let your anger build because, you know, even if you're somebody who's passive aggressive and you try to smile things off, it's going to catch up to you. Eventually, you're just going to have some type of outburst or, so many things are going to happen and at consecutive times and you're going to find yourself just kind of exploding. So eventually it's going to come out, but it's best to try to deal with the emotions that you're dealing with as soon as possible. Man, this is really not easy. But yeah, I gotta wash my hands. There we go. Yeah, I also think it's important that when you are having like disagreements with people in your life to not always try to win or always try to be right, but really try to understand their point of view. And that can be hard, but I definitely think when you master trying to understand somebody's perspective, I feel like you truly learn how to be willing to change your perspective instead of always trying to win. Because you also don't want to be the person where it's like, okay, I don't want to talk to, you or whatever, because I know I'm not going to get anywhere either. So if you find that people are saying that, which I have been a person that people have said that to, then you might want to do like a self reflection and ask yourself, okay, why do people constantly say that when they bring something to me, they would either rather not bring it to me because they feel like I'm not going to hear them out anyway? I mean, red flag, that means we need to learn how to be better listeners. And like I said, better at understanding other people's perspectives. We don't always have to be right all the time. And that was like the hardest thing for me to learn because I'm somebody who's like logical and I like facts and, you know, I enjoy the information being right in front of me. And so you can't spit out the facts instantly. I just don't even want to hear you out. But that's not the way to be because we got to be willing to, like I said, understand other people's perspectives. I'm sorry. I really want to eat it. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna just take one off the thing. I think this juice gonna be fire. I do. I think there's gonna be some fire juice because the fact that I just cut a lime and had a pear dipped into it is good. I like it. Wash my hands. I do want to give a disclaimer. All the stuff that I am prepping right now has already been washed and cleaned. So there's that. Okay, so we're good. But yeah, you don't want to have to be a person that always feels like you have to be right in every situation. Another thing is too, when it comes to regulating your emotions, watch your tone. Watch how you are speaking to someone, because how they receive something could definitely be based off of your tone. Like if you come at somebody loud and obnoxious and just going overboard, how they receive it is not going to be the best. You're either going to rile them up or they're either going to shut down. So it's important to learn how to have a conversation. You can be in a heated debate with anybody talking just like this. Mind you, I had to learn how to do that because I get passionate when it comes to me talking about different things. So sometimes us people with passion, you need to tone it down a notch, you know. But yeah, regulating your emotions, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you're around, I think, family members um, who you may not really fool with for real due to past history, but you have to be around them just to be cordial. Um, that can be hard too. But most important thing with that situation, don't buy into any of the nonsense that they may be dishing out when it comes to family gatherings. If you got to remove yourself, do so. If you only can be in a family gathering for 10 to 15 minutes due to a certain person showing up, at least you showed your face. That's how I think about it. Hey, I ain't with the drama. But yeah, sometimes I have been in situations too where I've had to like remove myself in silence and literally like cry it out because I want to be the bigger person. And it's hard in the moment, but it's definitely growth. It's better than saying something that I don't want to say that you don't necessarily mean, because typically in the heat of the moment when you say something, you do mean it. It's just how you said it was wrong. And so at least that's how I think. When somebody says something, they be like, I didn't mean it. No, you didn't mean to maybe actually, no, you were mad. You probably did mean to offend me in that moment. But I think that's how people really feel when you're angry. I feel like that is how you really feel. So it's best to be mindful of what you're saying before saying it, because you can't take it back once it's dished out. All right, let's take a look and see how this is going. Let's see. Yeah, I hope this is good, because what I'm going to do is put this. This is a cutting board, by the way. I don't know if you can see it's separated. Um, but what I'm going to do is mix this all up in a big bowl anyway, so like all the contents can be mixed in evenly. Because what I used to do is try to fill this up the same way each time so it can go in the bottles, and I was so it can go in the bottles evenly. And I was like, you know what, no, let's just mix it all, put it in a big bowl, whatever, and disperse it that way. So I apologize because I jumped into talking so quickly that I didn't even say what I was juicing. So I'm doing a green juice. This is pears, green apples, spinach, celery, cucumber, a hint of ginger, just a little bit because ginger will take it over. So just a little bit of ginger and lime. And so I'm trying this out. This is week 2 of juicing consistently. So it's been going good. It's been helping my gut a lot. And I feel like my skin looks better already. So I'm definitely someone who has a difficult time like taking vitamins, and I'm someone who also has a hard time like getting all of my nutrients that I need. And so this has been really helpful. And I've also been eating like the same stuff every day. So basically, like chicken, mixed veggies, rice, and for breakfast, I've been eating oats and tea. Like, I am really trying to see how lean and cut I can get. So I'm trying this out. Working out easy, but the eating part, oh my gosh, it's hard. This is the hardest part. And so far going 2 weeks strong. I've had a cheat day. My cheat day wasn't too not non-healthy though. Like I had hibachi because it was my friend's birthday. And so yeah, I feel like that wasn't too bad. Now I ain't go overboard either. I just had a Shirley Temple to drink, and I had salmon hibachi, so salmon with the veggies and the veggie rice and the lo mein, so I definitely feel like that was still somewhat healthy, but probably a lot of sodium. Oh well, it was good though. But yeah, back to the emotion tip. Like, even when you're at work and like people get under your skin, don't let people get under your skin. The enemy is always looking for a way to control you. And the best way for him to do it, 9 times out of 10, is through your emotions. Pause. Another thing that I had to learn too was how to process my emotions. So sometimes I would have to, and I still do, sometimes I have to ask myself, like, what triggered me to feel to feel what I'm feeling right now? And then I have to sit with it, and I have to like really think like what triggered me to feel this way. And I will sit with that thought for as long as I can, whether it be feeling anxious, whether it be feeling angry, whether it be feeling nervous, whether it be feeling sad. Like, if there's an emotion other than joy and happiness that I am feeling, and I don't understand why I am feeling that way, I sit with it for as long as I can until boom, this is what triggered it. Because finding your triggers is very important to learning how to control your emotions, because you got to ask yourself, okay, what made me feel this way? Why did it make me feel this way? And now what am I going to do about it? That is how you process your emotions. And I feel like these are classes that we should be taking in school, how to process your emotions, because a lot of people are dealing with so many different things and they don't know how to process it. And sometimes you're feeling the same emotion because of your environment that you're in. And, sometimes as a kid, you don't even know it. And sometimes you do know it, but there's no way to change your environment as a kid. There's only a way to have outlets. And the only way to change your environment, I mean, is if something really bad is going on and you have to be removed from your household. So as you grow older, it's like you carry so many different, emotional traumas from childhood. You carry adult trauma. So learning early on how to sit with it and process it is very important. And that's why I believe isolation is an essential skill to learn, because and early on, because what ends up happening is later on down the line, if you don't learn to isolate and kind of be to yourself, you never really learn how to process things, because you're always filling your space with people or things. And the thing list can get long, because sometimes it can be substances, sometimes it can be scrolling on your phone, sometimes it can be gaming, like whatever it may be. But you can fill your time with so much stuff, and you'll wake up one day, you're 30, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm angry, and you don't know why. It's crazy. It's really crazy how our emotions work. It is really crazy how our emotions work. And the sad part about it is the more that you suppress your emotions, the more that it actually like shows up in other areas of your life, or it'll show up in your body, like physically. Like, I'm somebody who's really big on being mindful of just how I'm feeling, because you could be like having like pain in your body, and the doctors can't figure out why, and you don't even know it's due to an emotional issue that you haven't dealt with. Like, emotional intelligence is very, very important. And it's the reason why I say that is because even when you become aware of like how to process your own emotions, you can actually see the people around you and like how they do or don't process their emotions. Or sometimes you can even see like, man, this person is carrying something, and how they act or how they respond to things shows it. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes you more self-aware. I almost made a whoopsie, because baby, that was about to overflow. And I'm just mixing up my little concoction in this bowl. Yeah, yeah. So it's very interesting too, like the ways that we can process emotions. Like, I know I have some friends that they can't necessarily process by themselves. And that's okay, but it does come a point where you do have to learn to process some things by yourself. But um, finding different outlets to process is very important too. Like, is it writing stuff down and ripping it up? Is it burning stuff? I know that that helps people release all types of emotions. Or is it, boxing? Is it exercising? Like, what clears your head? Is it just sitting with it? I would say sometimes it's best to start with sitting with stuff, so you can actually like feel it. And I know we don't want to be sad or angry or, just feeling like miserable or lousy, but like just feeling it and like crying it out and releasing it is just so important. Like, how you release it is up to you. I personally feel like crying is is the best release. Man, sometimes you just need a really good cry. But yeah, finding different ways to release your emotions is essential too, you know? It doesn't look the same for everybody, and that's okay. Hmm. So yeah. But I hope you enjoyed, our little tidbit on just learning how to process and control your emotions, learning to sit with things even when it's uncomfortable. And I am going to take a little gap here and either speed this up or you're going to see this at the very end when it's all done. But yeah, I'm going to finish this off and circle back. I am so excited because I really think that I'm gonna get all of these filled. I don't think I normally can get all of these filled. So if I get to fill all of these, it's a great day. Yeah, I don't know if, those who are watching have ever juiced before, but typically it's hard to get these bottles filled. And I see why a lot of people choose the little bottles because it is not easy getting these filled to the top without spending some money. Stick it in there. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think what's also cool is how all the stuff on the other side just oh, this is a lot of juice. I am impressed. I'm happy. It's not easy to make this much juice. I'm really happy. And it smells good. It smells like it's like the right mixture of everything. I did get a little lemon in there, got a little lime in there for that gut health, get you going. Okay, the last little bits. Oh no, I don't want that. All right. For my favorite part, taste test. Taste test. Just a little shot. Just a little shot. No, if I had like a funnel that I could put this in. I don't. I think I'd rather use this. I have already had something there, so I couldn't do it. Honestly, let me see. Let's see. Let's say I don't think I trust it. I know, I need to get a picture. Taste test, taste test. This is the best one I've made. This is the best one I've made. I can't wait for my husband to try this one. This is the best one I have made. So let me tell you again. Green apple, cucumber, pears, spinach, hint of ginger, one lime, one lemon. Baby, this is good. This is my best one. I'm so happy. And it's pretty. The texture, I'm in love. Oh, filled it up all the way to the top. About to be selling these in stores. This juice is good. Oh my gosh, this juice is so good. Woo. Oh no, I made the perfect amount. Oh, that's spilled. So a little bit of a few more. Should be good. Okay. So these are how they turned out. I'm so excited. This has been such a fun journey. Like juicing has become like my new fan fave. Like I enjoy this so much. Yes, like the first time I had juiced, I had to clean up as I go. Um, the first time I did this, like I said, I was experimenting. Like, can we look up recipes and like, see what everyone else is doing? Yeah. But isn't it so much more fun to kind of experiment, you know? I think so. I think so. The concoction that was made today was the best one thus far. The best one that I have made. I tried another green one last week. That one didn't. It was very tart. And so this will definitely be my go-to recipe for my green juice. I got my green juice down. So I got my green juice down. That's the fun thing to me about like experimenting and exploring, seeing what you like, what you don't like, and then coming across something and going, oh my goodness, like I like this. I enjoy the process of things so much. The process of making stuff. Let me rephrase that. The process of life and, like we talked about earlier, emotions. That's hard. Sometimes we don't like going through that, but it's necessary. But yes, this, like, oftentimes I look forward to drinking this in the morning or midday. I take them to work too, but I have to taste test. Mm, this one's my best one. Like, I feel like I can sell this. This one, this one's my best one. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe like it's this good. Mm, 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 mm. Man, man. Well, thank you for joining today. I hope you had a good time. Hope you juice too. Or hopefully you'll start juicing because it's really convenient. And like I said, if you're someone who has difficulty with taking your vitamins or getting daily veggies and fruits in your diet, I think this is a great alternative. Now, still eat your whole fruits, your whole veggies. I am not a dietitian, or a nutritionist, but um yeah, still get those because sometimes I think the fiber for some of this stuff is in the skin of it. And so it sheds, a lot of that out, but hey, nutrients are nutrients, so we'll take them how we can get them. Until next time.